Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast, and it is your favorite duo, Matt and Ali Aruda.
Well, our favorite duo.
We're biased.
Yeah.
Self-love. All right, today we have a fresh episode. I did think it was funny. We have a topic for you today that I think is really going to hit home for us talking about it, but also many of you listening or watching. And it is all about when growth changes the rules. And one of the hardest things about growth is realizing that what got you here won't get you to where you're going. And this is actually an amazing topic to talk about because I was just having this conversation last night via voice note with a new member of the Mentor Collective Mastermind.
Very nice.
Which is, for those of you that aren't really sure what that is, it is the mastermind that Matt and I are hosts and accountability coaches within. It's a Chris and Lori Harder creation with the whole team Harder and an amazing lineup of expert coaches. And it is for anyone that is earning anywhere between $25K to $500K of revenue in their business. And the conversation we were having around her decision to invest in this mastermind is knowing that to get where she wants to go, she needs to do something different.
Yeah.
She's going to elevate in her business. She needs to elevate the people that she spends her time with and around and learning from and having conversations with. And that has been a big game changer for the two of us since we started that back in 2023.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and you kind of said something that I was going to allude to was, the idea of growth isn't necessarily just in the implementation of new strategies or the implementation of new systems, adding a new service or product. Those are helpful, but where your biggest needle movers are going to be is when you intentionally and consistently, and that's probably even more importantly, consistently find yourselves in places where there are people who have done what it is that you are striving to do. They have all of the answers for you, right? They've got the cheat sheet of how to get from where you are to where you need to go. So the idea of growth, is a byproduct of being in that room. You go into that room and it becomes almost a education, a tutorial, and it's uncomfortable because you haven't done it before. It's a muscle you haven't worked out yet, or at least with consistency. So like anything else that you do infrequently, it doesn't come naturally. And the idea of getting it done can at times feel more like a struggle than it does anything that is smooth because you haven't put the reps in. Mm-hmm. But the more that you can choose to surround yourself with people that you haven't done before, or you haven't had the time to spend with before, especially knowing that they're people that have done the things that you want to do, that's where you walk away from those situations and you immediately begin to implement the things that allow you to grow so much more efficiently and so much quicker than what it would have been if you tried to figure it out, any of it on your own.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I'm going to take this and apply it in a fitness translation.
Yeah, I knew you were. I was thinking of it. Yeah.
I thought I was going to talk about pull-ups.
Maybe.
Let's just talk about weight loss in general. And again, we're in the 2026, the new year. I'm sure there are many of you that have health and fitness and wellness goals. And so if one of those goals, let's say, is to lose 10 pounds, you can't do what you have been doing to lose those 10 pounds. You are going to need to do things differently. And that will look in terms of what are you doing in the gym? And then how can you change that? What are you doing with your nutrition? And how are you going to change that? How much water are you drinking? And how are you going to change that? You catch my drift. But to do things that you've never done before, you can't just stay the same.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
It is.
Yeah.
And expecting different results, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to take action on making those changes and really committing to the growth that you want to achieve.
Yeah, and there's rules that once were accurate that you could have subscribed to that are no longer the case. And it's not because somebody broke them, it's just that things have evolved all around. And so the ability to find the quicker, more efficient ways to get from A to B are more readily available than they ever have been before. So the idea of the only way you being able to find success, and however you're going to describe that, what we're talking about this is very much in a professional business setting where you find success, whether it be in job growth, whether it be in financial pay, whatever it might look like. In days gone by, not that long ago, the way you got there is by just straight hustle, right? By putting in the hours, by getting there first, by leaving last, and by working through your lunch breaks. And that's how you got noticed. It's how you got promoted. It's how you got paid more so than the next person. And that's no longer the case with the inclusion of things like everything AI, first and foremost. But then outside of that, the ability of collaborating with more people and being able to go, everyone knows everyone knows the saying, to go fast, you go by yourself, to go further, you go together. The idea of getting to where you need to go, with getting there so much easier by having a team that's done it with you or has done it before you that can now take you with them more accurately. These are the new rules. It's not just showing up and working 70, 80, 90 hours a week. And for what it's worth, there might be weeks where that still is the case. At the beginning of setting anything up that is worth you fighting for, it will require more work than not. But that's not to say that that's what you should be anticipating is the only way that you're going to find long-term success, is just by the feeling of nonstop working getting you ahead. You've got to find the smart ways, the smart collaborations to allow you to move along efficiently with the group of people that know how to get you through that maze quicker.
I mean, this resonates so much. And I actually just did a solo episode talking about hustle and alignment. And I I feel slightly triggered with what you're saying about the hustle culture and always working because I I like to work. I was raised in a loving home and family, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom ever since I was born, and my dad was a pilot for Air Canada and loved his job. Like, you talk about passion for what you do. I feel like I was raised on that, watching my dad do what he did. And so I think that had naturally created this work ethic that I'm very proud of having. And I really like working. And especially now being an entrepreneur, which I did not ever see for myself, that's the path that I and we have chosen.
Well, you see what the impact is, right? You get
Yes.
immediate results of what it is, good and bad, quite frankly. I'm not just saying it's
Yeah.
always rainbows.
It's
But
not.
yeah, it's wonderful when it is, but it isn't typically over and over again without something else sticking its head out of the sand to remind us that it isn't always rainbows. But that's my point, is you aren't able to go a day without knowing what the results are of the effort that you put in, because you see them wholeheartedly in every minutia of what you do, not just what clients see, but then behind the curtain, the metrics and the KPIs that you might only have access to, and the trends that you see on a monthly basis that maybe not others do. All of that is a byproduct of you being so intentionally immersed in your work.
And I've been trying to navigate this whole notion of slowing down and, slow down to go farther and trying to find what that balance looks like. And it is not easy. Like, I don't have a crystal ball or a roadmap blueprint to navigate that for myself. And so it's really quite interesting, this whole conversation surrounding hustle and alignment, but also growth at the same time. And I think there's a whole other camp of people that are very much talking about burnout.
Oh, here we go.
And I think it isn't.
I'm
going to say it,
Go ahead.
and I might get haters. I might get trolls.
Go do it.
But I do feel like the term burnout is slightly overused.
It is gargantuanly overused. It's the same level of overuse as the word, to me, genius. I can't tell you how many times I'm talking to somebody and they say, you got to meet this person. They're a genius. You can't possibly be surrounded by geniuses. It's not
Are they going to
possible.
introduce you to Steve Jobs?
Exactly, right? Like, I get there are people who are very good at what they do, but not everybody's a bloody genius, for goodness sake. But all that is to say, burnout for me is triggering.
Mm-hmm.
I know what we did growing up, going back to hard hustle, where there was no such thing as anything to be successful as anything other than just showing up and putting in literal hours, trading money for time. That's the only way that you got around it. So I can tell you there's plenty of years of my life, and I know yours, where 50, 60, 70 hours a week, not even doing the job that I thought I would want for the rest of my life, is what I was happy to do because I thought that is how it was supposed to go. That might equate to burnout over the course of
Mm-hmm.
6 to 10 months straight of 60 to 70 hours a week, but not the way I hear the potential of how burnout gets implemented these days. It's thrown around way too casually.
I know, like, I think to get the life that you want and the goals that you want to achieve, you have to work hard.
That's right.
I think that is a pretty bold statement that I feel quite aligned with saying.
And you've got to be focused.
Yes.
I think having
there's a lot of
splintered
noise.
attention, yeah, but having your attention splintered and listening to all the noise and everybody's opinion is an important opinion, I don't agree with it. I don't think just because somebody has something intelligent to say that it absolutely applies to everybody's life, full stop. I think everyone runs their own race.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own reasons for being, whatever their why happens to be. And because it was good for one person doesn't mean it's good for the next. But the amount of times I hear, and everyone, maybe this is an issue where everybody, including us, have platforms. We all have the ability to speak what our opinion is. And hopefully that our opinion can be helpful and can resonate for some. By no means do I think that it's going to be helpful and resonate with all, because our story might not align with everybody that's out there. But for those that who do, I know it can be impactful because we've learned a lot of great lessons along the way. But all that is just to say that you sometimes have to look yourself in the mirror and realize that the only person in control of your story is you. And at the end of the day, if you're not the one putting pen to paper and writing the story based on the focus and the singular focus of what it is that you are trying to build and what it is that you're trying to move to, then all you're doing is allowing for confusion to enter the conversation. And you have one step back, two steps forward, maybe another half step back, and all that extra noise, the way you put it, just takes you off course from getting to your end result as efficiently as you could otherwise.
Well, I think it goes back to what you were saying at the beginning of surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
And in that front, and we actually see this a lot at Benchmark, and we say this, how like attracts like, that it's been so cool to watch the evolution of the Benchmark community over even just like the last year of who it is that we attract to join the gym. But you see that in many cases, but masterminds and networking events are incredible for that. But I think sometimes with growth, you also have to do an audit and you have to subtract, and you have to remove the things that are either not working or they are not in an alignment with what it is that you want to work.
Addition by subtraction.
Yes. And I said this to you just a couple days ago, how, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a little audit of who I'm following on Instagram, because I mean, maybe there's some people that I just don't enjoy their content anymore, but some that are not even in alignment with what it is that I'm looking to achieve. They are great at what they do. They have great content. They have successful businesses, but it could be an industry that I'm like, I actually just can't relate to it. So I want to clean up my space, my little Instagram space.
It essentially, if it's not helping you forward, then the only thing it's doing is serving as a distraction. And that's okay. If that's what you use Instagram for, and we're all guilty of it every now and then, right? Where maybe a lot more now than then. But if you're only keeping somebody to follow that isn't a close friend or family member or somebody you can learn from, then the reality is the only other reason why you're following that person is for entertainment. That's it. And if it no longer serves you because what it meant for you 5-6 years ago is no longer what it needs to mean for you today, what got you here will not get you there, kind of a thing. If you can recognize that, then yes, the important thing to do is to find the voices that do keep you in alignment so that you can go further quicker.
And I think even kind of still talking on the topic of alignment, even doing a little audit of habits that you keep. Are these habits things that make you better? Are they habits that are allowing you to grow and expand? And that could be things like, I feel like I even talked about this on an episode recently, how you and I have been doing our room temperature lemon water with Himalayan salt for easily 10 years now, I'd say.
Years. Yeah, it's robotic.
That we've been together almost 13, and we certainly didn't start it right away because I had to go easy on how I integrated wellness habits in our relationship to make sure you still wanted to date me. But here we are. And that is something that we were able to build as a habit, and it's a non-negotiable every day, even when we travel as best we can. And amen for Glossy in our life. That's also a lemon flavor, and actually so many benefits to that.
It's also just delicious.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
So we'll have that when we travel if we don't have access to, fresh lemons. But that's besides the point. It's more so of just talking about those habits that start our day and effectively open the floodgate for what our day is going to look like. Like, this is step one, and feed the dogs, and then we'll have our coffee, and then you build your day after that. But again, here we are at the beginning of a brand new calendar year. What are habits that you have and they get to stay? Or are there habits that you have and they need to go because they truly aren't in alignment with how you want to grow?
Yeah. And, the other question you have to ask is, besides the habits themselves, is, what rules am I playing by that I never chose myself to play by? That you had other people tell you that this was how it needed to be in order for you to get from where you are to where you want to go. Unless those people who are telling you this are people that are where you want to be, then who are they to tell you what the rules are of your own journey? It's not to say that, listening to advice from trusted friends and family isn't important. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater on that. But if you're looking for proper recognition as to where to go, how in the world are you taking anybody's advice other than the ones of who have already been there before you?
Oh my gosh, that's so good. And it's so true. Like, when you look at my podcast app, I listen on Apple Podcasts, and I follow a very small handful of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all
Me too.
people that, you and I follow a lot of the same shows.
Yeah.
That they're all people that I'm obsessed with the businesses they've built and the lives they've built.
And how they've built it,
Yes.
right? It's not just necessarily that they are successful and rich and famous and they live on the ocean with a bunch of awesome cars. That might be byproducts, but they are just really, really good people. And I know we share some of them, and there's others who, might be mine alone, and others of yours that might be yours alone. But that's their through line, man, is that they are just as great as they are at business is also as great as they are just at life, with give back and with ensuring that other people come on this journey with them and that they raise them up to be successful too, that there's room for everybody, right? Like these are the people that I know we strive to be, and that we are hoping that we are imparting along the way of this journey, that we're not running this race by ourselves, that we're hoping that we could kind of have that high tide raise all boats,
Yes.
essentially. But that's the point of all of this, is the rules as it pertains to Allie and I might not necessarily be the rules as it pertains to you and your journey. But that's not to say that you aren't supposed to know figure out what those rules are, essentially, for yourself, and take advantage of them from the people who you do know have already run that race ahead of you.
And I think to tie a bow on this, and going back to what we said at the very beginning about how growth can change the rules, that you can change the rules. You can change the habits. You can change the people that you are spending your time with, the environments that you are in, the content that you consume. And I invite you all to do an audit. And I think we have talked about this quite a few times on the show, but even if it's a weekly audit with yourself, and it doesn't have to be, one every year, maybe it does need to be more frequently, and just doing a little check-in to see the places that I'm spending my time, the people that I'm spending my time with, and the things that I am consuming, are they all in an alignment with who it is that I want to become and where I want to go?
Yeah, I mean, growth. Very well said. I can't spin anything further off of that other than, growth doesn't also need to require more effort per se. Growth doesn't mean that you have to figure out a harder way to get to where you need to go. Growth essentially needs to be you looking at how to get there in a different way, to do something differently in order to get you to some place that you haven't been before. That's where the growth is, doing something different. It might be difficult simply because it's new. You do it enough times, and like any other muscle, you put the reps in, you get stronger, and you know how to do it. And finding that growth is no different.
So good. I love talking about growth. It might be one of my favorite topics. Well, thank you so much for listening, all of you. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that we have something really freaking exciting coming with the 6-week Visibility Accelerator. And if you are ready to grow and you're ready,
so awesome.
I'm so excited, and you're ready to be seen, you are ready to be known, and you are ready to be freaking paid in 2026, make sure you click the link in the show notes and get on the wait list. By the time that you're listening to this, maybe we have already opened cart. So get that link in your browser and secure your spot, because we have some incredible networking opportunities for you, some incredible coaches that are going to be teaching you. And this is a byproduct of all the years that I have invested in female events.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
so
no-brainer.
excited.
Like I think the access to all of the resources that you're going to provide through this program for the amount of time that people have to commit to see this change implemented in their lives, in their businesses, it's an absolute no-brainer for anybody who wants to take themselves seriously and to not have to feel like they need to reinvent the wheel on how to do it. You're going to walk with them, literally hold their hand, and bring in all of the greatest coaches to make this as easy as possible.
And speaking of easy as possible, I completely changed the pricing strategy on what this program was going to be to what it is now. So I just wanted to make it easily accessible for everyone and a way for people to say, hell yes, I want to be way more visible. I want to be more seen and make more money in 2026.
That's the formula,
If
right?
this is you,
They can't get paid if they aren't seen, right?
that's right. This is the vibe for 2026. So if this is you, connect with me in the DMs or click the link in the show notes, and we can't wait to see you inside. See you again soon, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.